Fact of the day, we had 1,398 new COVID confirmations yesterday. I'll say right now, like I always say, Lagos, I need you alive. So please limit your movement. Wear a mask whenever you are out and about or when you are around people. Give as much gap as possible. Keep your distance. Wash your hands. Sanitize your hands. If you were watching on Facebook, you saw me step into the studio and spray everywhere like with my sanitizer because I don't want jokes. Like, I've lost too many people to COVID-19. I know too many people who are currently in ICU as a result of COVID-19. People I know personally. It's rough and it's scary, but we all have to do all that we can, and we also have to remember, of course, that recovery rate is very high, and if you get it, you could recover, but there's also that knowledge that if you get it, you may not recover. So your best chance until you can be vaccinated is to not get it. I give you these numbers every day because the show is hard facts. The show is not hard opinions. I take the facts, I break them down, I give them to you so that you can form informed opinion. If I have any facts that I'm not pointing your direction, point it to me, and I'll make sure that I share it with a wider audience. I have a great show for you today, starting with the big three. Let's talk about the NCC waiting for directives from the government on the NIN-SIM integration deadline. Then let's talk about NASU saying universities haven't made provisions to reopen safely. And then let's talk about the PDP criticizing government for not budgeting for COVID vaccines. Now, remember, you can talk to us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. We've got Facebook as well, Nigeria Info 99.3. And there's WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. Today is Thursday, so we're bringing you League of Extraordinary Nigerians. When League of Extraordinary Nigerians is done, we'll bring you Eyewitness at 4:30. After the news at 6, we'll bring you great conversations. And then at 6:30, we will bring you Listed Lagosian. It's an interview show that brings you some of the biggest names in Lagos who are telling you about their Lagos. So for a lot of us, we're newcomers to Lagos. There are people who were born here or who moved here years and years ago, right? And so they have all these amazing stories about what Lagos was, and they compare it with what Lagos now is. It's a great show, so you should look out for the amazing guest that Ireti Bakari Yusuf will have today from 6:30 p.m. But right now, today's Big Three is up next.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts. On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Should government instruct the NCC to delay the NIN-SIM deadline? Are universities ready to open safely? Are federal and state governments taking the right steps for vaccine readiness? Those are the big three, Lagos. Let's talk. The deadlines for integrating your phone numbers to your NIN still stand for now, and that's our first story. We heard from the Nigeria Communications Commission yesterday through their Public Affairs Director, Ikechukwu Adinde. Ikechukwu Adinde said that they've not received any different instruction. So they're still working with the deadlines of January 19th for those who already have their NINs and February 9th for those who do not. But Adinde still left the door open for the deadline to change. He said, quote, "If you follow the opinion of the public, it is in favor of extending it." And then, of course, recently, there have been concerns on the effect of COVID and all that. But I'm sure government is listening, and once we are advised, we will go to the press and announce the new position. However, as it is now, we are waiting to see what happens at the end of the day, as the recent deadline extension still stands, end quote. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And then, of course, recently, there have been concerns on the effect of COVID-19 and all that. Anyways, he's citing two reasons there. He says, first, public opinion. A lot of Nigerians want the deadlines to be moved. And then public health concerns. Of course, we've heard both the Ministry of Health and the Nigerian Medical Association say that they're worried that this exercise is spreading COVID-19. Now, the NCC is acknowledging those concerns, but they're saying they cannot act until they hear from, quote, government. Now, I put that in quotes because NCC is government. They are a government agency. But I guess the public affairs manager, Adinde, is saying that they're waiting to hear from the Ministry of Communications, which is their coordinating ministry. So here's my question. Do you think the Communications Ministry or the presidency should instruct the NCC to delay the deadline? Have you been able to integrate your phone number with your SIN, with your NIN? Have you been able to do that? I've even gone far, Seth. Do you have NIN? Have you gotten NIN? How has the process been for you? 0700-993-993-993 0700-993-993 993. You can also share your thoughts with me via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. And there's definitely Twitter and Facebook for you to share your thoughts as well. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. Remember, new year, new hard facts. So everybody gets 90 seconds to make their point and then keep it moving. Hello, thanks for calling us.
Hello.
How are you? What's your name?
Mr. Obodo Jr.
Good to have you on the show. Go ahead, Mr. Mobodo.
Well done, man. When I got my own, I think it was around 2018, thereabout.
Okay. Have you linked it to your number?
No, I didn't. But I do welcome back with it. So.
Okay.
So I don't know what I say. I do welcome back because I'm always losing my phone all the time. Then I do welcome back with it. I don't know whether it will be linked or not. I don't know. I've already...
So you did welcome back with your NIN?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
NIN.
Okay.
Yes, for more than 6 times. Yeah.
Okay. But you don't know whether your number and your SIM are linked, right?
I didn't, yeah.
Okay, so here's what I will do. What network do you use?
I use MTN and 9 Mobile, but I didn't. But this network MTN is always my line. I don't even bother the other one.
Okay, so I think MTN, you have to dial star 745 or something like that to find out if it has been linked.
Okay, ma.
So check the MTN NIN code to check if it's been linked. MTN has been doing a lot of advertising about it. So if you want to find out if yours has been linked, I think it's star. I'll find out for sure and then I'll let you know. Okay.
Okay, ma. We'll listen.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. 99.3. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hi. How are you? Good afternoon.
How are you too?
I'm good. What's your name?
This is Richard from Lekki.
Richard from Lekki. Didn't I ban you from my show?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the that day. So why would you ban me, Sandra?
Why will I ban you? Do you remember what you called on my air and said?
Okay. I said I was sorry. Man. I called you later.
No, you didn't call back that day because I've not picked your call since that day.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I was.
So this is your final chance. If you mess up this final chance, I won't pick your call again.
All right. No problem, my president.
All right, go ahead.
For me, government should listen to us. Majority of us are saying, it should be postponed. So why are they still delaying to? I mean, do they want to kill all Nigeria? They want to kill us? We are saying, they should postpone it. So why they? What's stopping them from postponing it? As for me, I rather lose my life rather than losing my life. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling us. So the code for MTN is star 785. Star 785. That's the code for MTN. So simply dial that. That's it. I think that's how to check. If you want to know your NIN, dial star 346. And then if you haven't linked it or you're not sure, dial star 785. It's free. They're not charging you anything to do it. So for MTN users, it's star 785. 99.3, hello.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Abednego.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. You see, I think we as the people, to start with, I have my NIN.
Okay.
And I think the only reason why I have NIN was because of one pension company that I signed up for then. So they were doing for all of their members at that time, and so that was the luck I had.
Okay.
If not, I wouldn't have had. It means that now that it is time to write JAMB and Co. Students, other students are struggling for NIN, but I wouldn't have to. Lucky me. That's the only thing. But then again, in all honesty, I think the date has to be postponed, if possibly cancelled. Because I think it's our lives first. You said 1,398 cases just today alone. Who fit talk, say, one or two persons we don't go NIN in the near future? Maybe we just imagine now, see, they're not the part of that number where you call. We have to look at these things first. It's our life before any other thing. But the more we keep gathering in these offices every day to fight one thing or the other, that's the more reason you keep getting calls that would say they don't trust the government. Because the government, no one we trust them. Doesn't sit down well with me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling us. Victor in Victoria Island is on the line. Hello, Victor. Thanks for calling. Okay. All right, then. I think Victor from Victoria Island isn't quite ready to be on air yet. Hello? Hello? 99.3. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, what's your name, sir?
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well. What's your name?
My name is Tunde Aderomo.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. Please, I have personally done my NIN over 2 years ago.
Okay.
And it was so easy. The only sacrifice I paid then was that I left my home as well as 5 a.m. I got to the center at 6 a.m. because the first day I went there and so far, there's a lot of people and they have a maximum number they attend to. Okay, that should be the case. The following day, I had to leave home early. I left my home at 5 a.m. I got to that place at 6 a.m. And the officer didn't come until 9 o'clock. And the minute they come, I think I was number 4 because when we got to that center, we arranged, we got in paper that we started writing names, as we come. And by the time the officer come, they brought up a list of like 30 people that they didn't finish attend to a day before. So we insisted that those 30 people, you want to see them here. Anyway, that's a long story, but I think I've done my own and I've sent my NIN to my network provider.
Okay.
That was about 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I was actually expecting their message, but today they sent me a message that my NIN has been
linked.
Successful activated.
Fantastic.
I can also link another same, if I have the same network, as in the, I don't want to mention the name of the network. If I have another number register, I can link it as well.
Okay.
Which I try to do that processing, the code they sent to me. And by the time I sent that code, it was asking me for my NIN number. I inserted it and he asked me for another new number that I want to link. But because I didn't have the same number, I just ignore it.
Okay.
So, however, my wife has not done her own because we are having this issue of about date of birth which we need to work on.
Okay.
So, but having said that, I have told her she shouldn't bother to go anywhere because I have 3 lines already that I've linked. I can give that one of my
one
lines.
of them.
One
And even still, Seth, the date of birth is that one is you can fix that one at any time. As far as you have the number, you can just connect it.
Yeah, that is where the threat is. When she opened her account in the bank, there's a mistake on the date of birth.
Okay.
You understand? I think that was a mistake.
Okay.
Now, when we now went to the NI to do her registration, immediately they put the different number. It brought the data on the data on the bank.
Okay.
And she wanted to correct the
mistake.
date of birth. They asked her to go to the bank.
Oh,
Bank now
I see.
said that she has to go and do the affidavit and all these projects.
Other
you have
long
to do, you have
term.
to have it. I was like, look, just sit down there at home. I have 15 numbers that I have registered. And I think every family can do the same thing. If husband have like 2-3 numbers that they are registered and you have a start of thing, you can give your wife and give your daughter. They can be using it. So me, I'm not ready to endanger my family is at home. Sitting there, I'm doing one format because I can be more careful. I can, it is easy for me to observe the protocol of this COVID-19. And it is not because of NIN, whatever they call it, they will go out. I will not allow that.
Thank you very much for calling me.
My own is very, very successful. They sent a message to me. Over 3 weeks, I tried to send the NIN, but this morning, they sent a message to me that it was successful.
All right, great. I'm happy for you. Thank you so much for calling. Praise is in White Sand. Okay, someone is screening the calls, but I don't know what they're doing, so I can't pick up the calls they're screening. So whoever that is, please don't screen. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. You're awesome. 99.3. Hello.
Hello?
Thanks for calling. What's your name?
I'm Mr. James from Ayobo.
Welcome, Mr. James.
Yeah. Please, I want to... it's concerning the registration of the national national registration that is going on. I want to beg the government. I want to plead. Because many of us do not really... In fact, even myself, speaking to you, I have the old one. The one that was registered early 2000. So I was thinking that was the one they are talking about. Many of us were not carried along to know that this new one is in the reality or whatever. It now dawned on us. So the date they have fixed. Please, I want to plead. Number one, I have worked with people who are in the managerial position before. Many of the government officials, they don't know what is going on. I want to appeal if the NTA, which belongs to the federal government, can go around the registration centers and show. Most of these big men we have, they don't listen to all this news or this radio we are talking about. Maybe they don't even know what is going on. If they know what is going on, let the NTA, that is a government agent, go around the centers and see. People are going there by 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and there's a case of somebody was trying to go there early in the morning. He entered a bus. They robbed him, carry all his something. We are talking about sickness. We are talking about COVID. We are talking about robbing people, leaving your house as early as 5 a.m., 4:30 in order to get registered. So it's like the people, they don't know what is going on. I've worked with people who are in the managerial position, like all the big men now. They are not going to queue on the line. They are not going to come. They will go to their offices and do it for them. Look at the majority of Nigerians that are shouting, and they said they are still bent that the date will not be extended. Many of us didn't know this thing. So I'm pleading and begging that let the NTA go around and take the picture and show it to them so that they will see what we are going through.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. If you just joined the show, hello, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Every day, we bring you the biggest stories of the day between 3 and 4, except it's a Monday. Then we'll bring you the biggest stories over the weekend. If it's a Friday, we bring you the biggest stories from all over the world. So this Friday, I have a good feeling Uganda will feature. I also have a good feeling Trump's second impeachment will feature. Look forward to that conversation on Friday. But for today, our first story is the deadlines for integrating your phone numbers to your NIN. It will stand for now. Nigeria Communications Commission said yesterday through their Public Affairs Director, Ikechukwu Adinde, that they've not received any different instructions. So they're still working with the deadlines of January 19th for those who already have their NINs, and February 9th for those who do not. He says that if you take a look at public opinion, a lot of Nigerians want the deadlines to be moved. And he also talked about public health concerns that the public has raised. So I reminded you that we've heard, of course, from both the Ministry of Health and the Nigerian Medical Association. They're saying that they're worried about this exercise spreading COVID-19. So the NCC is acknowledging these concerns, but they're saying that they cannot act until they hear from government. I pointed out earlier on that NCC is government. They are a government agency. So perhaps they're talking about the Ministry of Communications that coordinates their ministry, but they are government. The question I'm asking off of that first story is if you think the communication ministry or the presidency should instruct the NCC to delay the deadline. I'm also asking if you have been able to integrate your phone numbers with your NIN. Have you even gotten NIN, Seth? Have you gotten it? How has the process been for you? My security guard, Mohammed, hasn't gotten his own yet. He says that he goes to Ikate to try and get it, and he's done all the registrations, but they keep telling him the number is not out yet. They keep telling him to come back for the number. So somebody like him now, if they keep telling him come back, and by the time you get to February 9th and he doesn't have an NIN and he cannot link his NIN with his number, will he also be disconnected? And if he's disconnected, doesn't he have justification for taking on the government? Because it's not his fault that he doesn't have an NIN. He has done his part. But the government has been unable to issue him a number. 0700-993-993-993 0700-993-993. We've got WhatsApp available. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. Hello, thanks for calling us. Hello.
Hello.
What's your name, sir?
Good afternoon. My name is Ugochukwu Victor.
Ugochukwu, welcome. Go ahead.
Mrs. Sandra. It's a pity that up till now some Nigerians have not understand the way to follow this present government we have. I think for Nigerians to be waiting for government to issue a directive to NCC not to stop the registration, at least to give us an extension date, is a big wasting of a time, to my own opinion.
Okay.
So I think the best thing for Nigerians to do, if we want this government, this present administration to listen to the yearnings, to the pains of Nigerians towards this issue, is for us to go on a protest. Okay. I am ready to start my own tomorrow. That is only way they will listen. You will see in the next 2 hours, this so-called government, you say they don't listen to us, they don't know that we are complaining, something that we are not supposed to go. Are we supposed to be outside? Are they not the ones that are supposed to be talking on how to give us palliative at this moment? Because we're not supposed to be outside. So I think for us to force them, because their own is to force them. If you don't force them, they will not do what they're supposed to do. So pleading to them or waiting for them to give advice or to the communication company, it can never happen.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Remember, everybody gets 1 minute, 30 seconds. 99.3, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Benjamin.
Welcome, Benjamin. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Ekoto.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Concerning about the registration of the NIN, in Ekoto, we have only one center. I used to wake up early in the morning around 4 a.m. to go there so that I can be able to register. But as of yesterday, when I went there, the officials told all of us that have not registered before that they have enrolled more than enough. That the number they have now for enrollment takes them up to April. That is for the new people who have not registered. So if the government can extend the deadline, it will be better for us, because at Ekoto here, we just have only one center at Ekoto local government.
Okay.
And a lot of people have not registered. Yesterday, everybody was shouting, how can people just come around, wake up by 4 a.m., and yet they are telling them to go back, that they will now start to take new people as from April. And now government is saying that by February, the deadline, people will be disconnected. So there is a lot of suffering. The masses are suffering. Here the government did not want to listen to us. So please, if there's anything we can do so that they can extend the deadline or even make enough center. Because here now we have only one. So where can we the public at the go to register their own?
Thank you very much for calling us. All right, let's move to our second story. I mean, one of the callers has called and said people should protest. So, I mean, protests are your right at the end of the day. If as Nigerians you don't like a particular thing, tell your government you don't like it. We've got NASU saying that strike or no strike, universities should not open because they are not ready for COVID-19. That's our second story. NASU is the non-academic staff union of educational and associated institutions. And their general secretary, Peter Zademi, said this yesterday. He said, quote, "There is no way universities can reopen now without the availability of COVID-19 protocols. Most of these institutions do not have the means to sustain safety practices such as hand sanitizers, such as masks in place and social distancing. How can we ensure physical and social distancing in crowded classrooms? The hostels are overcrowded. Most offices are so small that it cannot contain many students. Where does the government expect the universities to get money to provide all these? I know that most Nigerians want the universities to reopen, but must we throw our children and university workers under the bus to achieve this? To NASU, safeguarding the health of both workers and students is paramount. Before the universities can reopen, government should set aside some money for each university to put the necessary infrastructure in place first." End quote. So Adeyemi listed 3 major things he says the universities lack: running water, sanitizers, and space. Space in the hostels, space in the classrooms, space in the offices. Basically, he's saying that there's no way to maintain social distancing in average Nigerian universities or average Nigerian polytechnics. And I think most people who attended a Nigerian university in the last 10 years would probably agree with that. They may also agree with his assessment of the running water situation. I went to a Nigerian university years ago, and I can agree definitely with what he's saying about the space problem and the running water problem. And these are practical issues that Peter Zademi is raising. Who should be responsible for providing sanitizers for all the public and private spaces on a campus? Is it the students? Is it the school? Is it the government? And then for running water, the schools should have already set that up. The schools should have already had that set up long ago. I told you what my friend said about COVID punishing the unprepared. Perhaps this is another example. Schools who didn't have running water before COVID are now paying for it, but they cannot go back in time. This is the situation today. This is the situation they have to deal with right now. How do we work around it? Can we even work around it? 0700-993-993-993. Yes, you can still talk about NIN when you call, but this is our second story. What do you think about NASU's claim that universities and polytechnics cannot open because they cannot comply with COVID safety protocols? WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. The studio number is 0700-993-993. Hello, thanks for calling. Hello. Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Daddy P.
You're sounding very far away.
Okay, my name is Daddy P.
Daddy P, welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, you see this issue of this registration.
Daddy P, you're sounding very far away, so maybe call back so that your line will clear up, huh? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Thanks for calling.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. What's your name?
This is Gideon Osisi. I'm calling from Agungi.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, my issue is with the NIN. The very first month that they introduced this new NIN, I was among the first people that registered it because where I was then, I was working. They introduced it to the company and everybody was meant to go and do it. I did mine then, but now I'm finding it difficult too because the slip they gave us that time, I thought maybe the slip is of no use again since I have the original card. So now I'm finding it difficult to even know which one is the number, the NIN number itself, because I'm even holding it here with me.
So what do you have with you there, the card or the slip?
I have the original card, the one that looks like ATM card.
Oh, okay. So, well, the thing is, they don't have the number on that card. The number is not printed on that card.
So how do I get the NIN number?
Dial star 346 hash.
I've been dialing it. They keep telling me this thing is being processed. I've not gotten any response.
Okay. You can also try and download the... but if you don't have the number, you can't even use the app, because if you have the number, then you can download the NIN-SIM app and then put the number in and link your SIM cards.
Yesterday, but the app isn't responding.
Mm-hmm. So, my brother.
Then I even did a Google search yesterday, and I meant to understand that the number, if you want to find out on your card, is that what the INN number is. They said it has something to do with your date of birth and the month of birth. And my month of birth is at the back here. But the numbers here is more than 11 digits.
Man, I honestly don't know how to help, because personally, I don't even have the card. What I have is the slip. I've had that slip since 2014. They've not given me my card. And on the slip, the number is clearly written there. So you can just copy out the number there. So I honestly don't know what to do about the card. The only other option is to dial star 346. So if I dial star 346, the number that I use to register for NIN is the same number that I use to register for my BVN. So it's all already linked. So the number on my slip is the number that I get when I dial star 346 hash. But you're saying that when you dial it, the response you get is still loading or something like that, right?
It's being processed and no response.
At least they're not telling you that your data doesn't exist. So that's a good thing, I think. So I think just keep dialing star 346 and hopefully that will work out for you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, Lagos 99.3. Hello. Sorry about that. Call back if you can. Hello. Hello. Thanks for calling. What's your name?
My name is Joseph.
Joseph, welcome. Go ahead.
Please, I want to know because for the NIN, I have not got, but I have this permanent voter card.
Okay.
Is that one useful?
No, voter's card is not NIN. So you've never gotten NIN before, have you? You never registered for it before?
No.
Do you have BVN?
No.
You don't have BVN?
No, I don't have BVN.
But you have...
before the BVN issue come out from bank, I had a small problem with my bank, so I now stopped. Yes, so that's why I did not get it that time.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you have to go and get NIN.
Okay, then what I want to say again is for government to push people to go and get this thing, the line number, is not proper. One, you people, radio station and the TV station, want to make us you have already make us to know that this COVID-19 is real, and we believe it is real because it kills. You understand? So I don't know why government is pushing people. They don't want to people to gather in the party and the other, both in the church. But I don't want that. I don't know if they're gaining anything for this registration that make them to just allow people to just bad themselves to get this number. For this COVID-19, and everybody is running for this COVID-19 issue. They should think. This is my first suggestion is they should extend all these things. Or, as we get to this permanent voter's card, they should do it that way for all the whole unity of this country or this Lagos. If they do it like that, there's no more too much gathering. So go for wherever they put your canopy or this thing. As we are registered this permanent voter's card, I get it. If they do it that way, the stress of people and the gathering of people, all this thing, will be less.
All right. Thank you for calling. Charles Abioro says, good afternoon, Sandra. Please help me find out if there's a way to put our BVN on the app to generate NIN. No, there isn't. Kenny from Ikoton says, President Sandra, a friend has the national ID card, but no record on it with NIM-SIM. The bank told him to go back to NIM-SIM to validate it. Wow. Nigeria, my country. That's a quote from him. I didn't say that. He said that. We've got somebody who says, I've linked all my SIM cards. Good. I'm happy for you. Hi, Sandra. My name is Harold. Somewhere in London. How do we get our numbers? We have retained, registered. I don't have NIN. Well, you have to come back and get NIN. That's the only way you can retain your number. All right, we've got a message here from Balo in Ikoyi. Balo says, what's the option for foreigners staying in the country? According to NIM-SIM, they also have to get NIN. If they're a resident here, if they have residency permit, they have to get an NIN. Because NIN is National Identification Number. It's supposed to identify everybody in the country. That's what NIM-SIM said. That's not what Sandra said. NIM-SIM said that. Then for foreigners who just come in for a few days and go, if they want to get a SIM card, they're leaving behind their international passport numbers anyway. So we have that anyway. So NIM-SIM is saying that they want to be able to identify everybody in the country. That's why they're doing this. More comments here. How much will it cost to put all these things in place for the students to resume back to school? Government is toying with Nigerian education seriously. That's somebody reacting to NASU, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, saying that universities should not open because they are not ready. They don't have running water, they don't have sanitizers, and they don't have space. Their classrooms are too small, their hostels are too small, their offices are too small. We've got more messages here. I'm Jerry. I'm a student at Uniben. I think they shouldn't come up with any theory. My school asked us to come with those things upon resumption. We've wasted enough time at home already. For me, I'm actually preparing myself for school, corona-wise. Jerry, thank you for sending the message in. Greetings, Sandra. Maybe that your security guard has not passed through the due process of watering the ground. If he dropped something, his NIN could have been out that day. Dominic from Odugunya. That's the thing. I also asked him, did he bribe them? And he said no. That they told him that he will have to pay when his NIN comes out. So that when his NIN comes out, then he will pay. They're asking him to pay 3,200 naira. I've told him to go and get a video and the names of the people who are asking him to pay that bribe, but he hasn't done it. I don't know what he thinks I'll do with it. Maybe he doesn't want them to lose their jobs. I don't know. The NIN registration should be done the same way INEC does voter update. That is, take the exercise to the people. Imafidon says on WhatsApp. Also on WhatsApp, we have somebody who says, I got my NIN through BVN registration, but the information I got recently says I need to go to NIM-SIM office for validation or verification. I need further clarification, please. Well, yeah, if they unified your data. So here's how that BVN NIN thing works. You know that when I had Hadiza on the show, she's the General Manager Legal Affairs at NIM-SIM, she said that the NCC and NIM-SIM has been unifying data of Nigerians already, but they've not unified enough. Now, the Nigerians who are in the number that they've already unified are those whose BVNs have been used to generate an automatic NIN. Now, if they've generated the automatic NIN, you have the number, but they still do not have your picture on the system. They don't have your fingerprints of this on the system. Yes, they have it because you did that thing for BVN, but Hadiza said that their standard at NCC and NIM-SIM is different from what the BVN people did. It's also different from what you did for SIM registration and all of that. So they need you to still come and do their own fingerprint and pictures and things like that. So that's why even though you have an NIN, you still need to go to the office to go and have your picture taken, to go and have your fingerprints taken. Now, before 2 days ago, we thought that all you needed was your NIN. If you dial *346, you have your number, you can link it to your SIM cards. But 2 days ago, we talked about it on the Big Three. NCC and NIM-SIM came forward and said, no, if you have BVN, if you got your NIN through BVN, you still need to come to the office and come and do your capturing for your picture and your fingerprints. Otherwise, it's invalid. The data is invalid. If you link it with your SIM, it's invalid. And that has caused a lot of outrage because we're trying to control a pandemic. We're trying to control the spread of coronavirus. There's a way to get a lot of people out of the streets, out of those crowded offices and into their homes. There's a way to reduce the crowds, and one of those ways is to dial *346. And here you have NIM-SIM, you have the NCC saying to you, oh, if you do it like that, your own details are invalid, so you still need to come down. So it's quite honestly insane, and that's me giving a personal opinion. I know I shouldn't do that, but I'm giving my personal opinion. It is insane. It should not be happening. You should simply be able to dial *346 and go home. But that's not enough for your government. So here we are. Let's move to our final story. Today in COVID. Yesterday I told you that the federal government wants to raise a supplemental budget for buying COVID-19 vaccines because it wasn't captured in the 2021 budget. Now, the PDP is faulting the government for not capturing it in the budget to begin with. The National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologbondiyan, released a statement about it. He said, quote, such failure as a manifest lack of commitment and proactiveness by the Buhari administration to check the spate of the second wave of COVID-19 and the escalating deaths arising from the spread of the pandemic in our country is unpardonable. It is unpardonable that the lives of compatriots are increasingly becoming endangered as number of deaths arising from COVID-19 kept increasing by the day. It is shocking that the Buhari administration did not make any budgetary provision in the 2021 appropriation bill for the acquisition of essential therapeutics, including vaccines, even in the face of the heightened anxieties over the second wave of the pandemic in our nation. End quote. Those are the words of the National Publicity Secretary, Kola Ologbondiyan. Now, of course, this is hard facts. So I have to point out that after the president drafted the budget, both the House of Reps and the Senate voted to pass it. It has both chambers to pass the budget. We do not have an alarm in public that the budget did not make arrangements for vaccines. But either way, I want to know whether you agree with the point that the PDP is making. Do you agree that the 2021 budget, when it was passed late last year, should have contained expenditure for vaccines? And do you believe it is disgraceful that it did not? 0700-993-993 993 0700 993 993 993. You get 1 minute 30 seconds. Hello, thanks for calling.
Hello?
How are you? What's your name?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Turn your radio off. What's your name?
Okay, yeah. My name is Zion.
I'm still hearing your radio, Zion.
Okay, my name is Zion.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Firstly, let me pick it from this one. Well, the PDP, whatever, and things like that. Me, I don't see any, tangible logical sense in that. Why I say tangible logical sense is that, after all, even they have their own member on the floor while all these project issues are being passed. Okay, so why didn't their even member at that point in time have raised the issue that, okay, fine, no, out of this budget that we are wrapping up, there is no provision for second wave. So why are they now coming up? You understand now. So why are they now coming up? They have their member, the whole floor, both rep and the Senate, not only for APC, so their members are there as well. So why didn't they raise the issue at that point in time? So then if they thought, okay, fine, the APC has slept on it, then definitely their members too are sleeping members as well. So then secondly, concerning the school, the university, whatever, I don't think it's very enough for them to say, okay, because of coronavirus, these guys should not resume again. It don't take them anything. And one of the things that I want to suggest is that, that doesn't mean that they should allow all these students to come in at the same time. Okay, fine. I quite agree that, there might be lack of spaces and things like that. Then we're talking about running water. If there is a will, if they are committed to it, with all the money they have been fighting for and things like that, it doesn't take them skyrocket, to get a borehole, a self-powered water for these guys and, let everything be okay.
So what do they do about the classrooms and the hostels?
And that's why I say that it shouldn't mean that they should allow all of them to come in at the same time. Some might, they might be coming maybe in tranches. Do you understand? While others might be learning a kind of ill wherever, So that won't be much more better than, putting them at home, because we don't know how far this thing will go now. So this guy will not be demoralized. You understand now? So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for calling us. We've got comments on Twitter. Mohammed Haruna says, Sandra, the problem is not only the deadline for registration. The NCC and Ministry of Communication must ask themselves what they've done to those that are not Nigerians to get their SIM cards linked. Foreigners are not allowed to get NIN. No, they are actually. Foreigners can get NIN according to NIM-SIM. Anyway, they're allowed to get NIN. Johnny Walker says, I'm confused about this country, telling their citizens to gather because of NIN under a pandemic. It's a shame. Make them open school since NIN is going on, because I see no difference. All right, we've got more comments. Blaze says, Sandra, please help me with this little ish as regard integrating our NIN with our line. I've been trying to link my MTN number with my NIN for almost a month now, and up until now, I'm yet to get any feedback from NIM-SIM. Well, keep trying. It took me a while, but I finally got a response from one of my telecom subscribers. Calling says, there's no need to have deadline for NIN registration. I've done mine since 2017, and I've updated both my lines. FG is actually compounding the whole issue because there's COVID and they don't care about the masses. We've got Perfect Logistics, who says this double standard operated in Nigeria by the government makes them look like they're not serious. How can you encourage a crowded scenario at NIN-SIM Center and you raid clubs for not observing COVID-19 protocol? They are acting enigmatically. Okay. Okoye Emeka says, NIN registration process should be continuous exercise where people can do it at the comfort of their home instead of all this unnecessary discomfort. While the registration process is a continuous exercise, you can get your NIN at any time. The one that has deadline is linking the number to your SIM. So let's get it straight. We've got more comments on WhatsApp. Let's take a look at some of them. Sandra, my name is Basil from Ikorodu. I've used the NIN-SIM app from Google Play Store to activate my national ID after inputting my 11 digits NIN. My activated ID shows my correct name, date of birth, passport photo. Every info on the ID is correct. At the moment, the app I downloaded is customized to me on my phone. All I do is tap on the app and it comes up with a request for password. I put in the password and it takes me to a page where there is a feature for show my ID among other features. I tap on it and my ID comes up. There have been conflicting stories about the app, with some claiming it is fake. We need to know the real truth about this app. I generated my 11 digits NIN by dialing *346#. And when I forwarded this number to MTN, they replied by saying that my NIN has been received and that it is awaiting verification. That's the situation I am in at the moment. It sounds to me like you have the original app, because if it has all your data, then that's the original app. I haven't heard anything about a fake app except from you people who are mentioning it when you say it to me on air. But NIN-SIM does have an app. It is on the Play Store, and if you put in your NIN, it can bring out all of your details if you've already done a capture. If you haven't done capture, then it probably won't have your details. I don't know exactly, so let me not speak confidently on that matter. But if you put in your NIN, your details should come out, and you should be able to link your numbers with your NIN. Sandra, for tourists, what is the provision for SIM connectivity when they're in the country? Like I said earlier on, they have to use their passports, their international passports, to get a SIM card. Sandra, the problem is not only the deadline for registration and linking of our SIM card alone. The NCC and Ministry of Communication must ask themselves what they've done to those that are not Nigerians. I hope Dr. Isa Pantami and Professor Omar Dambata will review this. Thank you for sending your message in. Let's go to Facebook and see the comments you have there for us. We try to take all the comments that everyone sent into the show from all of the social media channels that we have. Someone wants to know if the old ID is still valid. It depends on how old it is. If Hadiza, the head of legal at NIM-SIM, is to be believed, if it's as old as 2004, you may not have an NIN, and so that may not be valid. So the way to find out is to dial *346. That's one of the quickest ways to find out. And then if you dial it and you don't have it, you can go to a registration center and get a number for yourself. Adeboyega says, do we need to beg, cry, and kneel down before Dr. Issa Pantami before he knows what to do about the registration of NIM-SIM in the midst of a COVID-19 pandemic? The Nigerian Senate should stop this. Lives of Nigerians matter more than this NIM-SIM registration. All right. Let me come back to the phone lines now. Hello. Thanks for calling us.
Good afternoon, President Sandra.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
Organizer.
Welcome.
Well, for me, for the Ologbodian complaining that government did not put budget regarding COVID-19 on the budget, is so clearly that this Buhari administration does not believe in this COVID-19. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they need to budget for it. And for them forcing people to go and do their name in this middle of second wave, it's also clear that Buhari administration does not believe in this COVID-19. As for me, even up to yesterday, when I get to believe that this thing is really out here, it happened to someone that I know. The person is a critical conditioner. And thank God for people like you, people like us, and most other people out there that know this thing is real. Now, you can't go and register COVID, and in this period where you really know this thing is out there. So it's clear, very clear that Buhari does not believe in COVID-19. And I want to advise all Nigerians that this thing is free. Nobody should go outside to go and do it. And if you look at it, most people that go outside to do this thing, they don't believe in this thing. Okay, now, people like Sandra, can you go out there to go and queue for you to register your name at this period? Can you?
No.
I know you don't want to risk your life. For most people that are out there, some to register themselves, they don't believe in this thing. Yes.
Well, you can't say that authoritatively because they probably feel like they don't have a choice.
I don't have my mind, and I've said it 100 times, million times, that I would rather lose my line, my phone line, rather than my life. I can't lose my life because of a line.
Well, thanks for calling Oganetega. We've got Mohammed Haruna Maigoro on Facebook who says, Sandra, the problem is not only the deadline. I think I've taken that comment before. Tony Omon says, Sandra, could you imagine a friend went to one of the local governments in Lagos for NIN registration and she was told to come back second week of May? The agent there said they can only register 20 people per day, hence her scheduled date will be the month of May due to the crowd. Another message from Wisdom Nguta, Sandra, for me, I see this emergency NIN as an opportunity for corruption. More messages here. Isaiah Sebastian says, I don't have the NIN at all, but I went to the office last week. I bought a form to submit, and after like 30 minutes, they discharged me that I should come on June 11. Please, what is the way out? You bought a form, as in you paid for the form, because you're not supposed to pay for a form. They're supposed to just give you the form. Interesting. All right. Let's see. Ihanyi Unoben says something I can't say on air. We've got Prince Leo Ozama who says, why are Nigerians being subjected to untold hardship and untimely deaths because of NIN? Second phase of the COVID-19 pandemic is here with us. Let me try to prefer solutions to this unnecessary harsh subjugation. I believe it's better we begin immediately to issue newborn babies NINs immediately after we deliver them. kind of like birth certificates. For others who do not have NIN, there should be an ongoing process to let them register at their own time. And government should make them know that there are things you may not be able to get without your NIN instead of the ultimatum. The network providers should be allowed to register and issue NIN to their subscribers in their office and their various customer service centers to ease the sufferings. We should not forget that there are many aged ones and children who have phones registered in their names, but they don't have NIN. Holders of Nigerians' green passports should be issued NIN in the airports at the port of entry into Nigeria, or they may elect to do it at any of their accredited centers when they settle down. Finally, the registration of NIN and any amendment must be free, and 75% registration procedures done online for those who want to tool that line. This guy should be working for government. Leo Zamba, thank you for your message. You know, the thing is, there's been so many suggestions that the government can take. A lot of people have sat down with government and told them, this is what to do, this is what to do, this is what to do. But for some reason, they're not listening. For some reason, they're simply not listening. And it remains to be seen what will happen by the time the 19th comes around. 19th is next week, Tuesday. So we'll touch base with government and see how far. Are they going to extend or are they not going to extend? Let's bring you the business news. After the business news, it's time for League of Extraordinary Nigerians. I am Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.
The numbers are out and Nigeria Info is your number one station for talk. Number one. Listen on the air and online via mobile app. Search Nigeria Info FM on Google Play Store and iOS App Store. Download the app and have us with you wherever you go. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info.